What's up, guys? It's Ryan with Sandbox Media. I'm going to try something new with this video today. It's going to be about sort of a history lesson / Call of Duty opinion thing about why I think those people at Activision made them develop a game that was not really their forte. And what I mean by that is the last 3 years we've seen games that have had running on walls, exosuit abilities, jumping around with jetpacks. I mean, you name it, they've tried it. Now, I see, obviously part of this is just trying to be innovative and stay fresh and all that stuff, and I take that into consideration when I make this opinion, but I really think it's a little bit simpler than that when you really examine it. So you have to really go back to Call of Duty 4 to really start the story. Now, Call of Duty 4 was developed by Infinity Ward, and there are two main guys that created that studio that everybody probably knows. Their names are Jason West and Vince Zampella. Now, those two guys, they created the Call of Duty franchise. They literally created it back in 2003. That was the first one that released. I think that was only a PC release, too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it came out on Xbox, but I can't remember. But anyway, they created the series, and it did okay. It was popular, but it didn't really get super duper popular until Call of Duty 4 was released. Now, with Call of Duty 4, that was the first multiplayer game that introduced, at least for the series. I can't speak for other games, obviously, but it was the first Call of Duty game that had create a class. It was the first one that had the perk system that you can mix and match perks. It was the first Call of Duty that had kill streak rewards, so it was a super duper innovative game. It was fun. It was fast paced. People received it well. It reviewed super well. I'm pretty sure it got Game of the Year, a lot of those rewards. And just super successful. Now, those two guys that I just mentioned, West and Zampella, those two guys were the ones that were sort of credited with that. So they had been developing Call of Duty for a little while. Treyarch was sort of switching off with them every 2 years, and those two guys made Modern Warfare 2. It turns out that was the last game that they were going to make in the Call of Duty franchise, and it was a lot of legal battles, a lot of illegal issues went on between Activision and those two guys. I'm not going to get into it because it takes too long to talk about. I could do that in a different video if you guys want, just let me know. But anyway, essentially what happened was those two guys left Activision. They went to EA, which is obviously a competitor for Activision, the publishing company, or publishing scene. But they were like, hey, we want to make this game. We've got an idea for it. EA funded them, gave them enough money, just sort of a cash advance for them to hire a team of developers to develop the game they were talking about. And the game was Titanfall. Now, that was obviously Respawn Entertainment. That's the studio that developed it. And what's funny, a little side note, is I think that those two kind of hand-picked and cherry-picked people from Infinity Ward to come with them and sort of develop that game. So essentially, you've got now, from Activision's perspective, think about it. You have the two guys that literally created your series, the thing that you milk every single year for millions of dollars. You have the two guys that created that working for your competitor, developing a brand new title, and boom, that's it. Like, what are you going to do? The first thing you do is you try to figure out what they're trying to develop. And I'm sure that was not very hard to do for them. I'm sure that it came through the grapevine somehow. They were developing some sort of like jetpacking futuristic shooter, and boom, that's why we have those three atrocious, in my opinion, games for the last 3 years from Call of Duty. It's because they were scared that Respawn Entertainment was going to develop a game that was going to pull away all of their players from Call of Duty over to Titanfall. And for those of you that don't remember, people were like expecting it. Like, it was super hyped up. People were really thinking Titanfall was going to be that COD killer. They really did. And obviously in hindsight, that's not the case. Titanfall 2 is probably going to be the last Titanfall game ever made, at least for now. I think it's going to be shelved just because Titanfall 2 didn't sell well, regardless of the fact that it reviewed super well. But that doesn't. It was stupid that they released it with Battlefield 1, but like I said, that's a whole nother topic for a different video as well. But that's my opinion. I don't know what else to say. I think that also what backs that up is now that Titanfall's sort of gone by the wayside. It's funny that Activision is going back to boots on the ground, and I think that's partly due to what I just said. Titanfall is not really a competitor anymore, but also the fact that everybody on YouTube pretty much disliked that Call of Duty trailer that came out for Infinite Warfare. So that's my opinion on this. I would love to hear your all's. My opinion is not 100% correct. I mean, I'm not trying to say that, but I do think it's pretty logical conclusion to come to. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video and hope you have a great day. Take care.